update. Coronavirus restrictions are set to tighten in Prince George's County again. This as cases are rising and distribution of a vaccine is right around the corner. At a news conference this morning, county officials detailed the numbers. In Prince George's, the positivity rate is 10.1% over the past few weeks. Angela Alsobrooks calls that significant. Officials also say they are gravely concerned about the daily case rate. Right now, it stands at 47.7 per 100,000. Alsobrooks says hospital capacity is down, and she urged quick action now because of all the COVID-19 numbers are heading in the wrong direction.
Effective next Wednesday, December 16th at 5 p.m., indoor dining at restaurants must close. Outdoor dining will be allowed at 50% capacity. Restaurants can still offer takeout and curbside service, and in fact, we encourage all Prince Georgians, this is such a difficult time, to please continue to patronize our restaurants. We will work to make sure that we are supporting them. In addition, casinos will be limited to 25% capacity, and finally, all retail must reduce capacity to 25%.
Alsobrooks says the tightened restrictions will stay in place until at least January 16th. 49 Marylanders have died from COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. That's according to state health department officials. The agency is also reporting more than 3,200 new infections today. As the cases surge, county leaders across the state are urging residents to wear masks, social distance, and avoid large gatherings. They met yesterday afternoon on Zoom. Montgomery County Executive Mark Elrich says he's proposing more restrictions, including shutting down indoor dining and limiting capacity at retail stores. With Christmas 2 weeks away and a possible vaccine that could be available as early as next week, one organization is urging everyone to wash their hands, social distance, and limit gatherings. The Infectious Diseases of America organization is reminding everyone to take these 3 simple steps to help reduce the spread of the coronavirus during the holidays.
We have to stay hunkered down with our family. We need to stay masked. This time of year in particular is very bad because we're all indoors. We can't keep the windows open. We can't gather together outside where it's safer to do so. And so the best and safest thing that we can all do is not travel for the holidays and to stay with our immediate families.
The organization created the Mask Up America campaign, which encourages everyone to wear a mask. Maryland General Assembly leaders are taking time before the legislature convenes to explain how logistics will work in the upcoming session. Yesterday, they spoke with lobbyists about protocols to keep the public and lawmakers safe amid the surging COVID-19 numbers across the country. A House lottery recently chose which members will be seated in the chamber and which will perform their duties in a new annex constructed out of 2 delegation rooms in the House office building. The annex has been set up to allow full participation by all delegates during floor sessions. Leaders in both parties as well as committee chairs will be split between the 2 locations. The situation may be altered depending on which of the 3 stages leadership deems the pandemic is currently in. Senate President Bill Ferguson recently explained how his chamber will operate in Stage 3.
In Stage 3 in the Senate, members will be voting and debating from the Senate floor. So it will be as it will look very similar. The number of people that are allowed on the floor will be severely restricted to designated staff, but we will be on the floor just you would expect in a normal session. It will look very different. We have the cameras now installed in the chamber. Before, at the end of session last year, we were trying to make do with live streams, and you'll see the sort of safety pods around each desk. If we move into Stage 2, this is one of the big differences. Members will be in their committee rooms, so they will go into smaller groups. So B&T has 13 members, all other committees have 11. And so they will be separated and will participate virtually. So I would be in the chamber, members will be in their committee rooms. Each committee desk has a tablet installed that will be a secure system for members to vote into the chamber. So it will be in a closed system.
Stage 1 would be the worst level and would require the legislature to completely shut down until it's safe to resume. A restaurant with a long history in College Park is fighting to survive. The Cornerstone Grill and Loft is in jeopardy of closing. The owners, like many other small businesses, have applied for grants and loans, but the funding isn't enough. Now the restaurant has created a GoFundMe page looking for support from loyal patrons. The goal is to raise $75,000. For more information, visit GoFundMe.com and search the Cornerstone. Students at the University of Maryland in College Park will continue hybrid courses into the spring semester. Only about 1/4 of classes will be held in person. The remaining will be online. The first 2 weeks of undergraduate coursework will be held virtually. However, students must test negative for COVID-19 before returning to UMD, and everyone on campus must take a test every 2 weeks. The spring semester is scheduled to begin on January 25th. Meantime, the University of Maryland Global Campus gets a new president. Dr. Gregory Fowler formerly headed the Southern New Hampshire University's Global Campus. Fowler begins his new position January 4th. 48 attorneys general, including Brian Frosh of Maryland, are suing Facebook, alleging the tech giant is an illegal monopoly. The suit accuses Facebook of stifling competition by buying out potential competitors such as Instagram and WhatsApp. The suit also accuses the company of cutting services to smaller apps and reducing privacy protections and services. Frosh says Facebook manipulated the market and misused its monopoly power to the detriment of its users.
Facebook has personal information about literally billions of people. And they're able to use their contacts, the information they have, to build an enormous advertising business. They make mountains of money, and they're able to buy up startups that look like they might be threats at some point in the future. And so people just don't have alternatives. Privacy is at stake and a serious concern for Facebook users. And their monopoly power to squash some competition and buy up others is a problem for the future. And that's the reason that we've filed suit, along with many other states.
The antitrust lawsuits represent the most significant political and legal threat Facebook has ever faced and could set the stage for the potential breakup of the company. Authorities are investigating a shooting that targeted police officers in Landover. It happened around 9:30 last night as officers attempted to stop a vehicle in the 900 block of Atlee Drive. Police say a suspect got out of the car and shot at officers. There were no injuries, and the suspect was taken into custody. Officials uncover a fraudulent unemployment insurance scheme that targeted high-ranking state officials, including Governor Larry Hogan. In a statement, Hogan said it's an example of how fraud schemes can happen to anyone. Officials say the fraudulent claims using stolen identities were immediately blocked once they were detected. Some 214,000 claims have been flagged for potential fraud by the state's Department of Labor. In July, the governor announced that the state had uncovered a criminal scheme involving more than 47,000 fraudulent unemployment insurance claims, totaling more than $500 million. Prince George's County's Democratic Central Committee is lending a helping hand, and it needs your help. The organization is hosting an Adopt a Senior Day on Sunday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The committee is urging people to help senior citizens by delivering hot meals, groceries, or even doing yard work. The event is only for older adults who live in Legislative District 24, which includes Glenarden, Capitol Heights, Seat Pleasant, and Fairmont Heights.
We want to make sure that we provide some type of service to those seniors that are struggling, right? We don't see day in and day out, we don't see the struggles that a lot of seniors are going through. So we're just doing this to provide something back to the community to say, hey, if you are going through a tough time, if you do need that extra help, if you do need a hot meal, groceries, some money in the bank to help you with whatever needs you may have, we're here to assist with that.
To volunteer, or if you're a senior who would like to register, call 301-355-0353. He was a wealthy philanthropist who founded the world-renowned school Johns Hopkins University. And it was believed that he was a staunch abolitionist. But it turns out that Johns Hopkins, like many of his 19th century contemporaries, was an enslaver. Historians who were working on a university-led project on the school's history found the information in census records and correspondence. University officials say the findings complicate the understanding of Hopkins. One of the most important holidays of the Jewish calendar year begins today. Hanukkah, also known as the Festival of Lights, kicks off this evening at sundown. The holiday celebrates the rededication of the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. For the next 8 days, families of the Jewish faith will light one candle on the menorah. This year, the celebration will last until December 18th. The Maryland Terrapins football season will wrap up this Saturday against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. 3 of Maryland's games have been canceled because of coronavirus outbreaks. Games against Ohio State and Michigan State last month were canceled when numerous Maryland players and staff, including head coach Mike Locksley, had to quarantine. Its game against the University of Michigan last week was also canceled because of positive coronavirus test with that team. Terps sophomore quarterback Talia was named the starter of the beginning of the season, and his 917 yards passing in the last 3 games are the most for a Terps quarterback since 2010. The Terps quarterback also earned Big Ten Co-Offensive Player of the Week recognition for his 5-touchdown performance against Minnesota.
But what I like about Talia and what I've seen out of Leah is even when we've had the stoppages and we haven't been able to play games, his work ethic and how he approaches the game hasn't changed. He's not one of those guys that when we're not working or games are canceled, he's taking a day off.
We came up with a plan that, I'm going to stay after and watch film with each other. And when we're not watching film with each other, I have to watch film by myself. And he holds me accountable he tells me, by the time we meet the next time, I want you to have this written down, this found out, this, on second down, third down.
He's starting to show, the leadership you want to see. And now I see him being a little more vocal. I see him getting after a few guys about effort. We always say you have to have a mind of a coach and the actions of a player. And I'm starting to see more and more of that out of a young player. And the stops and starts and all those things, as I told you, the key to our success is going to be how we're able to adjust. And he's been tremendous in adjusting to all the different things thrown at him.
You're only as good as your last practice or your last game. So every day I want to continue to just work hard, and everyone else, we all push each other too.
Saturday's game will be only the second time this season that the team will get to play in its home stadium at College Park, and a win would give the program its first winning season since 2014. Well, let's get a quick check on our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 36 degrees. Friday, sunny with a high near 58 and a low around 44 degrees. Saturday, partly sunny with a chance of showers later in the evening. Daytime temps reach a high near 61 with a low around 40. Sunday, partly sunny with a high near 61 and a low around 40. And now for the community calendar. Take time this Friday to attend the virtual conversation around current topics we are facing during this moment in history. Several Smithsonian institutions are coming together to document a day in the life of our nation. The 24-hour event is tomorrow, December 11th. Officials are also asking for the public to share their thoughts on the program's website. To join the discussion, visit 24hours.si.edu. And that wraps up our CTV News update. Join us again tomorrow at 4:30. Have a good night.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.